Everybody, I am here today to read you a book. And this book is called Pete the Cat and His Four Groovy Buttons. Groovy. What do you think groovy means? Tell me what you think groovy means. Groovy could be like cool. His four cool buttons. Can you guys show me four fingers? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four groovy, cool buttons. Pete the Cat. Written by Eric Litwin. Art by James Dean. Very awesome. Okay, let me see the book. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with four big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much he sang this song. My buttons, my four groovy buttons, my buttons, my four groovy buttons. Let's take a minute, and let's count these buttons to make sure that there's four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's look at the color of these buttons. Might be kind of hard to tell from looking at the computer, but we have a bluish, a light blue, a dark blue, a greenish, and a red. He loved his shirt so much he sang a song. That's cool. You guys sing a song while you're getting dressed? Maybe you could. Pop! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? So if you have 4 buttons and one pops off and it rolls away, how many are left? 3. He has 3 buttons left. 3. This is the number 3. 4 take away 1 equals 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 buttons. Oh, and now he has the number 3 and he says, groovy. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left now? So remember, he started with 4 and 1 already popped off, and that meant he had 3 buttons. Well, if he has 3 and 1 pops off and rolls away, how many are left? 2 buttons. 2. This is the number 2. If you have 3 and you take away 1, that means that you're going to have 2 left. Okay? Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. What did he get? What is this stuff right here? Ice cream. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. What is happening? Why do all of his buttons keep popping off? How many buttons does he have now? If he had 2 and 1 popped off. All right. We have 2. 1 pops off and it rolls away. How many does he have left? 1. This is the number 1. Some people draw it with just a straight line down, but sometimes this is the number 1 in books too, or somewhere else. You have a straight line down, and then a line going across at the bottom, and a little whoop, curve line at the top. If you have 2, and you take away 1, you're going to have 1 left, okay? Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. All right, are you guys ready? Can you sing with me? My button, my one groovy button. My button, my one groovy button. Pop. Oh no. The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons does he have now? If he had 1 button and it popped off and it rolled away, he has 0 buttons. Oh wait, this is the number 0. Like a big circle or an oval. If you have 1 and you take away 1, that means you're going to have nothing, 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt. And do you know what he saw? What did he see? What do you think that he saw? All of his buttons are gone, but what did he see? His belly button. Ah! It's not a real button, but it's his belly button. All of his buttons are gone, so his shirt came open and he saw his belly button. And he kept on singing his song. My button, I still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. It's all good. It's all good. He could have cried about his buttons popping off and thrown a fit, but he didn't. He didn't cry about it. He didn't throw a fit. It's all good. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing. This is interesting. Look at this. Swirl, 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 button. Swirl, 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 button. Swirl, button. Swirl, button. But he's okay. Stuff happens. Stuff can make us upset. Stuff can make us cry. But we can still keep going. We can still keep singing. Okay? Buttons come and buttons go. Let's count how many buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to count all these buttons? I don't know. I think that'd be kind of hard. Have you guys ever had something happen to your clothes, like something got ripped, a button came off, your zipper broke, something like that? I know it's happened a couple times at school when we've got our coats on to go outside. And we try to zip them up and we're like, oops, zipper's broke. That's okay. All right, guys, I miss you, and I hope you enjoyed this book, his 4 groovy buttons. My 4 groovy buttons. Ooh, we could do it right now. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. And 1 pops off, and it rolls away. How many buttons are left? 3. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. One pops off and it rolls away. How many are left? 2. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. One pops off and it rolls away. How many are left? 1. My 1 groovy button. Good job, guys. All right. I love you, and I'll see you again soon. Mwah!